Well, hello there, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here. I should say hello, world, because there's people that are outside of Kansas City that enjoy this podcast. My name's Stephen St. John. This is Hot Mic with SSJ. I'd like to start off by thanking Patrick Carter, KCFarmersAgent.com, who is the wonderful sponsor of this show. So if you would like to have an insurance agent that cares about you and that is local and that listens to this podcast and also curses like a sailor, then you want Patrick Carter with KCFarmersAgent.com. Also, CBD American Shaman. This podcast is always better if you enjoy delicious edibles or vapes from CBD American Shaman. The topical cream that you could just put it right there on your sore joints, whatever ails you, and it will make you feel very good while listening to this podcast. My great friends at CBD American Shaman. So as you see, I have a special guest here, a return guest. First time he's been in here with me solo, so we'll see how this goes. Former K-State All-American and Super Bowl champ with the New Orleans Saints, Mr. Nick Leckie. Also, foodie, Mr. Nick Leckie. Nick, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Stephen. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Are you excited to be here? Are you unsure about this?
I am very excited
That's
about
the enthusiasm is palpable, so I'm very excited. I mean, some people come here, let's do this fucking podcast.
Oh, really?
But you're here.
I'm here, man.
You're present. You're ready.
Good.
And, you asked me a question that many people ask me when I see them now. How's Jake?
Yeah, right?
Are you full of shit? Is he really in the cab? I tell people, listen, it doesn't sound totally believable, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Jake is well. He's checked in. He checked in with us in the last podcast via Zoom. He appeared to be the Unabomber.
What subjects? What subjects?
He's not looping yet, so he's not drinking his own
so he's not pure.
urine.
He's not eating on the raw food diet yet.
He is
looping.
He's now. He had just found out about the Tyreek Hill trade.
What does he mean? There's nothing you have without access to it. If you can Zoom, you can have access to information.
And so we turn that into whenever we check. He reacts to things that he doesn't know that happened.
That's a cool subject,
right? And so. He's going dark. He doesn't want any contact for the next 3 weeks. He's really gonna put his nose to the grindstone and finish this book. He's finally gonna finish the book.
I thought he went away for a month to do that.
He did. That's the fun part. Finish it? No.
Okay.
And he still hasn't. And so
then
he's going to reappear on the show.
He's gonna apparate
on Sports Radio 810.
He's gonna come back here?
No. He's gonna call into the actual radio show instead of the podcast. And he's going to reveal a website. He has a team of web designers and a PR. I don't know.
That doesn't sound like
Jake. He's going to present the book. Like, here it is. This is how you get the book. He's having someone working on the cover. I don't know. I'm just telling you what he's doing. And so then we should hear from him like in 3 weeks, we think. But I did. So I thought you like this. I did hear from him last night. Because we do text back and forth, and I did not reply, and all he did was text a picture, which appears to be a picture of cannabis-infused chicharrones, and so some delicious pork rinds.
Hold on, let me see that.
He didn't say he's eating them, but I imagine. I feel like that's a sign that things are going pretty well up in the cabin, right?
Dude's Chichar, 500 milligrams of THC, hash, rosin, infused chili, and lime wheat snack.
What's your reaction to that? Is that
I don't want to eat that whole bag.
Right.
That
would be your problem, wouldn't it? That you don't.
How do you eat just like one little bit of a chicharrone?
Dude,
that's like the wrong thing to infuse.
This was like there was one thing that I could always count on. At my grandmother and grandfather's house, Danny and Augie Ontiveros, there would be some type of delicious flavored chicharrones. Yeah. And, that was just always the go-to snack there. I'm guessing none of them were cannabis infused.
No, they were not.
I wonder what my grandma and grandpa would think.
My aunt would be, she liked my grandma, but she thought pot was invented in the 50s.
Right. So she would not appreciate this.
She would not appreciate it.
I bet they're tasty. It looks like they've got the right spice and seasoning.
Have you ever in your entire life eaten a bad chicharrone?
No.
I mean, I don't.
No.
I don't think I've ever.
Somebody one time had me taste chocolate covered.
That's lame. I don't like dessert.
It made me mad.
It's salty.
It made me mad.
It's a salty treat.
So there's your answer. How's Jake?
500 milligrams in the whole bag.
So would you say, does this say Jake is good or Jake is bad or Jake is fine?
I'd say Jake is Steady.
Jake's in it to win it.
Jake is
so there we
steady.
go.
He's very steady.
So we have a variety of topics I'd like to discuss with you. And
Relevant topics, too.
At some point, so if people are getting ready to go down to New Orleans to enjoy the Final Four, I know we've got a team going down there from Sports Radio 810 to cover Kansas as they play Villanova on Saturday, and then Duke in North Carolina. Here in a little bit, we're going to talk about, because you lived, how long did you live in New Orleans?
About a year and a half.
So you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm a local.
So what we want you to do is tell people from this area that are going down there, hey, go eat here, go eat there. I have a suggestion. Maybe you can tell people, hey, don't, if you're walking around, don't go there. Watch yourself.
Don't buy drugs in Bourbon Street.
Well, just watch yourself.
Right.
Just give people a little bit of a visitor's guide. But first, we need to discuss, because this is something that happened this past week that everyone's been talking about, and I'm very curious. I did not pre-interview you. I have no idea what you're going to say about this. All I did was text you last night and said, here's some topics I'd like to talk about.
I like that.
Let's talk about Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. And I'll be honest with you. So my whole life,
was that the Academy Awards? Because on Twitter, it was like a Japanese interpreter.
Right. Well, that was because the American telecast, you didn't hear what Will Smith was saying, and they had it, edited, right?
Yeah.
But so then people started posting that, I think the Japanese telecast or Australian telecast, because they didn't,
I like that.
And so you hear him going, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, keep whatever. And so, so they got all of it.
I watched it.
They got all of it. We just got, and so
Hot mic.
I have loved the Academy Awards since I was a kid, and we used to make a big deal of it.
Have
Always
you?
understood. Well, it would be on Sunday nights.
Yes.
And my grandma and grandpa would love it.
It's a big deal
My
for
mom
them.
would
You're
love
right.
it. And then we'd sit down. And back then we saw most of the movies. And it was a big deal. And there was TV. You didn't have a whole lot of things where the family can gather around and watch a big event.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. There wasn't much news.
Right.
There wasn't much 24-hour news cycle. And it was
Right.
like, here's the big thing Saturday night
Right.
or Sunday night.
And so, but now it's like, I don't feel like anyone watches. No one watches it. It's not that big of a deal. I'll be honest with you. I was watching television with my wife, and then we started watching. We've been watching Winning Time about the Lakers.
Oh, I can't wait,
dude!
I
it's
can't
so
listen. I grew up a
fucking
Lakers
good.
fan in the '80s.
I did not.
So I
and
can't
it's
wait.
Still, it is.
I can't wait.
Let me tell you something.
It's the damn story is unreal.
But what you have to understand is, it is so fucking good.
It cannot not be.
It is
It
hilarious.
can't fail. It cannot fail. Like with the success of the Bulls documentary and having Jordan, whatever, I'm sure they're like, hey, let's do this for Magic and the Showtime Lakers.
See, but the thing
let's
is,
go.
it's
Jerry Buss.
but it's hilarious.
John C. Riley is Jerry Dr. Buss.
He's hilarious.
I mean,
I'm
I'm like
example.
R.I.P. Dr. Buss.
He's
but
sitting there at the pool in the Speedo with a big bib, eating the lobster and talking about the creation of the Laker girls. I mean, shit like that.
Yeah.
A lot of graphic sex scenes.
I would hope so.
It's
L.A. in the 80s.
right. Super R-rated.
Yeah.
Super R-rated.
NC-17.
And so the guy that, first of all, you're right. John C. Riley as Jerry Buss is fantastic, just unbelievable. But the guy that steals the show is, I think he's Australian, Jason Clarke. He plays Jerry West.
Oh, wow.
And I did not realize that Jerry West, and I know they probably
sensationalized.
yeah,
it.
they paint him to be a fucking maniac that's never happy with anything, that his life is driven by the failures he had against the Celtics all those years, and he finally won, and it shows that he couldn't even celebrate when he finally won the championship, and nothing's ever perfect. And when the show starts, he's the coach of the Lakers before Dr. Buss buys it from Jack Kent Cooke, who they make. Jack Kent Cooke, who eventually owned the Redskins, Washington football team, they make him look like a horrible fucking. I think he was. What a terrible fucking person this guy was.
Really?
Yeah, awful.
I didn't even know that backstory.
Yeah, right. And so this is great, right?
I can't wait.
And so, but they make Jerry West is just fucking like, he finds out that Dr. Jerry Buss wants to draft Magic Johnson, #1 overall. Fucking 6 foot, fucking 9 point guard, motherfucker. And he throws his MVP trophy out the window, and he's like fucking nuts. But it's fantastic. But then you kind of see what drives him and how he just you find he can never achieve the success that he wants in his mind.
Right.
And it is funny. There are a couple of moments where and you've heard this from other great players that can't make the transition to being great coaches. Mm-hmm. He goes, I can't understand why they can't do what I could do and why they can't do what I fucking want them to do. Yeah. I'm sure you've experienced that with coaches or at some point,
absolutely. No.
And that's why I think George Brett had that issue when he was a hitting coach. One of the greatest hitters of all time, and he just can't figure out. I'm telling you, why can't you just fucking do this? But it's a hard thing if you're a coach and you were a great player trying to convey what you did to a guy that doesn't have your talent.
Oh, it's so tough.
And you can see it drove him fucking crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, I think there's certain players who, like, to me, you can't name any really good player, ex-player, who's a really good coach besides Zidane. With Real Madrid, won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Larry Bird was pretty good. In
Decent. Who else was player coaches?
Ditka.
Yeah, but I've heard stories that he was not a great coach.
Okay,
he was basically at the helm.
The defense gave
he was at the helm
Ryan.
of that Bears team. Look what he did in New Orleans.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
He traded his draft for Ricky Williams.
I mean, he was the first Bill O'Brien trading Ray D Hop for person. So yeah,
so
but it's a tough thing to do.
But they have, I mean, they make Chick Hearn look really bad.
Oh God.
But they have Adrian Brody plays a young Pat Riley trying to get into the business. That's great.
That would be good.
And in this thing, he's just like the color commentator and the travel secretary for the Lakers. Ooh. Because here right now, and then Paul Westhead is the assistant coach, and part of the first couple of episodes with Jerry Buss was, and I didn't know about this, was chasing Jerry Tarkanian to be the head coach.
Really? Was that UNLV? Wait, that was before UNLV.
He was at UNLV there, and he wanted him to make the transition to the NBA. And there's some.
How long was he at UNLV for? Was he there for a minute?
And there's some wise guys that didn't want him to leave Vegas because
that UNLV team is. Yeah, that could be another one coming up.
And Jeannie Buss is, it's great. Mm-hmm. And Magic, and it starts with Magic Johnson before he gets drafted, and shows what he's coming from East Lansing, and him making the transition where he's just fucking everybody and everything, and he goes to, and.
Have you seen those clips of Magic, like interviews from the 80s? Or 90s after he contracted HIV, he was raw. Like, I don't think that interview would be allowed today, but he was talking about his sexual encounters.
You see it. They show it here. And, like, when he gets there, Norm Nixon hates him because he's a point guard and they're bringing this kid in. It's fantastic. And Jerry Buss is basically broke. Mm-hmm. And the deal that he got to buy the Lakers is terrible. There's so many facets to it. I was never a Lakers fan, so I thought, I don't want to see this shit. But it's hilarious.
But you do, though.
It's fantastic.
In the setting. You're in L.A. for Christ's sake.
It's so well done, and it's laugh out loud. It's got everything, so you should watch it. So anyway, that's what we were watching.
I'm excited.
And then I go, oh, Sue, the Academy Awards are on. We should check in on this. And then we check in for a while.
That's right.
Well, let me finish watching, Winning Time. We finish that. And then the phone starts. What? Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock on stage. I go, this doesn't seem fucking right.
Yeah, I know, right?
And so we go right back to it, and we rewind it, and this motherfucker goes up and slaps him.
So on the American version, it showed that?
Yeah, it shows him slapping him, and then you see Will Smith while he's yelling at Chris Rock afterwards, but they mute
I hate how they censored that. I love in every other country they just let it play. Like, hey, you're an adult. You can hear a fucking swear word.
Okay, so here's debate number one.
Yeah.
Many people are saying it was staged. It was staged.
That's my first thought when I saw it.
And I love that people have taken this video and slowed it down like it's the fucking Zapruder film, like it's the Kennedy assassination.
Exactly.
Now watch Chris Rock.
Yes.
He sees it coming, he braces, and he starts to turn his head just a little bit. And the slap is a limp-wristed slap from Will Smith, and he just hits him with it, and so insisting that it's
a gentleman duel or something like that. Right, yeah.
That it he trained for the Ali movie. He wanted to, and so the question is why would they stage it?
Yeah.
Chris Rock's ticket sales for his concert tour have gone through the roof since it happened, so I will say that.
Yeah, that's a benefit.
But then Will Smith won the Academy Award later on for his portrayal of Richard Williams. But man, I don't. And then other people said, okay, when Chris Rock told the joke, the G.I. Jane joke. By the way,
Will Smith was cool with it.
There's my first bitch about it. That's not even a good GI. Like who?
It's a terrible
half
joke.
the people watching don't fucking know what GI Jane is.
Yeah.
That's like a joke from 10 or 15 years ago.
And then is she sick or is she just
she has alopecia.
So you don't do that shit.
Right.
So you don't.
Right.
So first of all, Chris Rock, you
right.
got to know.
Oh, by the way, have you seen it surface now that Will Smith made a joke about one of Arsenio Hall's band members having alopecia when he was on years and years ago? The internet never forgets.
No,
but anyway,
yeah.
But the point is, like, it was a G.I. Jane. How many people watching actually knew what the fuck he was talking about G.I. Jane?
It was terrible.
If you're like 30 or under, you don't know what that was. You know?
It's a great Demi Moore flick, by the way, that I never saw, but I know that she shaved her hair for the role.
Right.
That's it.
Maybe people knew
Not
that
even
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so there's the joke. And then if you see Will Smith's laughing,
100% cool with it.
But then
he was 100% cool with
Jada
it.
Pinkett Smith, is not laughing, and so he sees, oh, she didn't like that, and then
it was delayed. It was like 10 seconds.
Stage and just slaps him, and you know, and the other thing that really stood out to me was he saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." Chris Rock goes, I'm going to. I will. Like,
yeah.
Like, yes,
right?
sir, I will.
Yeah, I know, right? Like is he the highest midichlorian count for aliens in Scientology? Does Will Smith run Hollywood now? Did he take over John Travolta's mantle?
And the other part I liked about it is that then there was footage that people immediately posted, no, it's real. Look what happened in the commercial break. In the commercial break, Will Smith was still emotional, and Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry pulled him aside and were talking sense into him. Denzel Washington, now to me, that guy's like the godfather of Hollywood. Like, if Denzel fucking tells you, you better do it. Coolest cat in the room, right?
100% yes.
But then I like when Tyler Perry came over. Then I kind of wish it would have been like as Medea, you know?
Just dressed
you
up.
better not be punching no one and slapping no one on this Academy Award. But anyway, so then you see that there's so many levels to it, and then other people are, you know. And I pointed out, hey man, Chris Rock's got a pretty good chin. He fucking had his hands behind his back. He took it, didn't even stagger him. And some people said, well, that was just a slap. I've seen slaps knock people on their fucking ass.
You watch the slap fighting? Oh, yeah. Like the Russian slap fighting things that they do. Like they line up like their arm wrestle and they just slap. And people get KO'd.
Right. Well, I've just seen someone give someone a good slap and put them on their ass like that.
If you catch a chin right, that's...
Your hands behind your back. And so what... So first of all, do you think it was staged?
Yeah, I can't fucking trust anything in Hollywood. I really... And what you said... about how back in the day, the Academy Awards was a big deal. Yeah. Now, who gives a shit? I didn't even know it was on. Like, when it said that I thought it was from a Japanese show. Right. Not the Japanese audio.
The Japanese Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They're over there promoting some shit over there in fucking Japan. I was like, okay, whatever. And then so it's bringing relevance back to the Oscars. It puts Will Smith... and Jada Pinkett, maybe it diverts them from the whole Jada cheating thing with the rapper younger than their son.
That's a whole nother thing,
right? That's a
like,
whole
you're okay
weird...
with your wife fucking another guy, but then the joke crosses the line.
Maybe she was like, this is why I did that to you. You know, I can see her being a toxic personality.
Him so twisted up in the head that he feels like he's got to go up there and defend it, right?
Even the Fresh Prince ain't the Fresh Prince.
Right.
Right?
Exactly,
he got troubles too.
By the way, that was the best joke about that. Did you hear what the freak is?
No.
What is on Chris Rock's face? Fresh Prince? P-R-I-N-T-S? Fresh Prince?
Well, there was one too. There was something about two. There was one will. If 99 can't, one will, or something like that. God, the memes, dude.
See, this is why his mom sent him to Bel Air for getting it for shit like this. Right? So, but you
and it promotes the new Fresh Prince.
Right? Have you watched that? The dramatic Bel Air.
I do want to.
I'm gonna watch. I just haven't. Now maybe I will.
I'm still on a COVID. See, I'm still on a COVID. Like I don't watch that many shows. I'm still burnt out. Like I'm still kind of crawling back into the TV because I watched so much damn fucking shows in COVID.
So real or not?
I think it was real, just because he was laughing at first, and then Jada probably looked over and goes, "You can let him talk to me like that." You know how that that's like a high school.
But
that's a high school college conversation.
But she's got his head so twisted by all this other shit that, like, you're right what you said. Maybe he was like, no, this is why she's fucking around with another. I mean, I better go up there.
He thought it was funny,
And
she was like, I don't think that's funny.
And then did you see? This isn't funny, but it kind of is. The other meme of her was her saying like this. She goes, so what? Tupac would have shot him for me, She dated Tupac back in the day. Exactly. But anyway, so okay, so let's get to this point because Kathy Griffin, who's I'm not a fan of her comedy, but
confirmed D-list.
I thought it was an interesting.
She tries hard.
Interesting tweet. She said, "What people aren't talking about now, this is going to give assholes around the country motivation to where if they don't like something from a stand-up comedian, they're going to walk up there and slap him or confront him, because what a lot of stand-up comedians do,
world.
Pick out someone in the crowd and fuck with them.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And so now someone out there in the crowd is like, oh, Will Smith went out, and I'm going to go. And we've seen that before. People confront stand-up comedians. Like, what do you always say? If you go to the comedy club, don't sit in the front 2 rows. They're going to fuck with you.
Don't do it.
And so,
or don't get too drunk.
Yeah, so now this is going to give the assholes the license to go up and confront comedians.
It sets a precedent for, like, copycat violence.
Right.
It really,
right.
because that shit's contagious. So it is. It's going to happen a lot. We'll see more of that.
We're both married to women we love very much. It's like, would you, if you were to, in the comedy show or something like that, and someone makes a crack or a roast, would you feel compelled to walk up there and?
But that's if it was really truly hatred, it would be jump on you, ground and pound. Right. It wouldn't be like a slap is what you do to your brother when you don't want to like punch him, but you want to like mush his face. Right. Or like you just like want to just slap.
Or like I've seen like a slap the shit out of someone that emasculates someone.
Yeah, it does.
Because Chris Rock just he didn't do anything back. He saw Ali.
He
took it.
Yeah.
He took it and moved on. And so, do you think? So, in any way, do you think Will Smith was in the right, or was he just totally wrong for doing that?
No, I mean, you never choose violence.
Because Chris Rock, you said you thought the joke was over the line.
Yeah, well, I just don't feel like you mess with anybody who has a disease.
She's been public
sickness.
about it in her battle with that.
So you can't say that, right? That's an out of bounds joke. So Will Smith should have walked up and be like, "Hey, don't say that, please."
Like later on backstage, say, "Hey man, you know what? Fuck you. That's not very cool."
For real.
So you don't think he should have walked up there and slapped him in the mouth?
Well, I like what Kathy Griffin says too, because you're right. Because now you're giving people artistic license or poetic justice to slap comedians.
YouTube's full of those videos where fucking people get a little drunk and they talk back, and then that's even worse because if you talk back to the comedian, that's there. Then they will really fuck you up.
Hecklers getting owned,
right,
is a fun research thing.
2 hours on YouTube.
It really is. There's just various clips on that, and I love that.
So maybe there's a guy like fuck this. Will Smith did it. Goes up there and just tries to slap the comedian. I mean, I don't know. That's taking it.
But it's a bad precedent
to the next degree.
But no, he was not. No, I'm not going to justify violence.
So you think he was wrong?
It was totally wrong.
And then I saw some people. Well, Chris Rock should press charges. Like,
no, I like how Chris Rock did. He slapped me, whatever. It was out of bounds, and then I'm not going to do it again. But now I hate Will Smith forever.
Just being honest again, his concert ticket sales went through the roof. So. I mean, you take a slap for selling out some more shows.
What would you do, right? What would you do for...
Slap me.
Would you get slapped to make some more money?
For more ratings?
You could slap me for $1,000.
Slap both sides of my face and my ass, if you can give me that. I'm more than willing.
What about your neck and your back?
Yeah,
right?
all of you can slap me. I don't care. I've been slapped. I've been punched. It's all happened to me. If it's gonna benefit me or my family, I'll take a beating.
Yeah. And why was he hands behind his back the whole time?
He was hands behind his back until the slap. Yeah.
It's like you'd think it looks like a coward move, but he took it like he didn't give a shit.
Right.
He's like,
if you go up there and unexpectedly slap someone with their hands behind their back and they don't even really he took it like that, but he ate it. Mm-hmm. That makes it,
You know what? You know what's funny? I saw another clip, and you can check this out. But Will Smith was getting interviewed by when they're on the red carpet a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And someone asked him, or someone kissed him, and he slapped him.
Yeah.
Right? I just thought of that, right? So he's a slapper.
He likes to slap.
See, he's smart because he knows he can't punch someone because that would be like an assault and you have to settle out of court.
I do remember that.
Remember that? Yeah, he slapped that because the dude tried to kiss him. He goes, no, and he slapped him. Why is that your go? That's not my go-to move to slap someone.
Now we know Will Smith is a slapper.
He's a slapper. He's a certified slapper.
He's slap happy.
He's very slap happy.
Right, is he?
That's like a push or like a punch, right? Type thing. But yeah,
okay. So anything else on Will Smith? It still makes me laugh that he walked up there and
he was. When I did my research, he laughed, and like I said, I know that one. I've dated girls like that who were like, "You let him talk to me like that."
Oh, let me tell you. Motherfucker, let me tell you, I had a...
You know exactly what I'm talking about, too, like that type of toxic.
I'm looking at the camera. I'm not mentioning names, but anyone that knows me and grew up with me knows who I'm talking about, right? I had a girlfriend I dated for 2 years when I was at St. Pius. I was a junior, she was a freshman.
Oh.
And I dated her for my junior and senior year. And then when I left and went to school, we broke up for 2 years. But then we got back together for 2 more years when she was out of school, right?
Oh.
And that was her fucking deal. She liked to get me in fucking fights when we were in high school. He said this to me, or he said that to me. Tell me if he says that. Then he said, and sometimes it would be accurate and sometimes it wouldn't. But my head was all fucked up. I didn't know. And she loved to get me into fucking altercations. And looking back, I was so stupid. Yeah. I was so I remember I fucking put a kid's head in the fucking locker and closed it on there. Would you say that again?
Damn.
No, it was.
Like Joe Pesci.
It was a bad deal. Yeah,
That's like Joe Pesci.
It was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. But he had it coming though. He had it coming.
Okay, that was.
Yeah, because he said something derogatory. He would say things derogatory about my dad.
Oh, that's okay.
And the issues my dad was going through, and I'm like, you don't fucking talk about don't fucking talk about my dad.
Yeah.
And then I caught him saying something again, so I fucking slammed his head.
That makes sense.
But I'm not proud of it. But honestly, I kind of am because I defended my father, but I shouldn't have done it. But I did it, and I was a young man. I'm stupid. So there you go.
Just a young knucklehead.
And I have slapped.
Would you slap him? Did you slap him first?
No, but there was one story.
He had time to walk up there, think about what he's going to do, and he chose to slap.
Do I tell this story? I know he's in there fucking saying it makes me look bad, but no. This is back when I was working at the casinos.
What year?
97.
What'd you do at the casinos?
I was
you a croupier?
slots. I was a slot tech.
Slot
you got
tech,
a fucking coin jam in that slot. Get in there and fix it for you.
Okay.
Some light tech if it was over my head. And I call it slot.
Some light tech.
Tell you something.
That's a cool. Would you have a flat?
Yeah, I have all kinds of shit. Fucking apron pockets. Fucking.
Do you have the dispenser?
Yeah,
the coin dispenser.
No, so that was a change person,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
And so the people that had the money push around those fucking cards.
Yeah.
I would count them in and out of their bank.
Oh, okay.
18 grand.
Yeah.
I was counting money, make sure that they, I counted them in at 18,400. You better have, any shortages or whatever, then you're fucking in trouble. Then I got to turn them in or whatever. So I had to make sure that they had the same, everything.
Did you ever have to turn anybody in?
Well, yeah. Well, some people, and it was kind of like the fucking deal in Casino.
I love that movie. I love that movie. With the glass table where they're counting in the back, or like, where they take the cheater.
But the fucking, Hillbilly, the fucking nephew or whatever.
Absolutely.
Let's has like 4 or 5 jackpots go off in the same hour. And then the uncle tries to come in, the county commissioner, whatever he is, tries to get his kid, his nephew, the job back. And he goes, hey, look, is either he's too stupid or he was in on it.
He insulted the fuck out of him.
And either one of them, I can't have him working here, right? And so for the people that were fucking up their money, they were either too stupid or they were fucking in on it or doing something. So either way, he's bad. You got to fucking take care of it, right? And so, whatever. So then I used to work.
What casino?
Station Casino before it was Ameristar.
Is that the Isle of Capri?
It's Ameristar now.
Where's that? Is that the boat?
Yeah, there's Harrah's and then there's Ameristar over.
Okay.
And so it was Station when it opened up, and I worked there for 2 or 3 months before it opened, and Richie was a baby, and so but they were understaffed, and so for a while I worked 4 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Holy shit!
7 days a week for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
This is when it opened. Then 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., 6 days a week, then 5 days, and then finally it went down to ultimately, I eventually got to 40 hours, but it was overtime. I worked my ass off. It was great for the money, but it sucked. I was always there.
Yeah.
And so you would have finally, all of us on the opening crew got to the point where we had a, industry night. Like we got Monday off. Oh. And so then that's where let's all go out.
Where's the hangout?
Let's go to the bar. Helen's. Helen's, people know Helen's is on 210s by the casinos.
A Northland thing?
Yeah. Helen's JAD, Just Another Dive is what it's called. You go to Helen's, they got good food, whatever. But anyway, so I can't remember the name of the fucking club. It was off 29 and Berry Road. And so Susan, we had Richie, we hadn't really gone out. Said, hey, me and all my friends at the casino, we're going to go have some drinks, do a little dancing. She gets a new dress she puts on. We're fucking up there. We're out there. And my mom is babysitting baby Richie, right? And so I don't know. And at this time, I'd only stopped boxing for a year. Oh, but I had thought
you're still in
right. But I was still training. I had thought that I was going to have another fight. This will be for another podcast. I thought I was going to have a fight in Germany.
Oh,
and so I was going to get like $5,000 to go and just get the fucking shit beat out of me, right? Because they Americans are undefeated. Go over there and get your ass kicked. So I was going to do it, but I was training. And so you have a different mindset. You know that. You have a different mindset when you're
not connected to the real world.
And so we go out there, and I'm embarrassed of the story, and it's not the right thing to do. And if I'm glad my sons don't fight. I'm bad Steven. I've learned, right? But there's a jerk off at the end of the pool table, and he keeps staring at me. He's staring at Sue, right? And I'm thinking, I know all these people from the casino. I can't remember names. I'm an idiot. And I'm thinking, I must know him. Maybe I know him from Northeast or whatever. And so Susan goes to the bathroom, and I walk up to him, and I bet she's so pissed off I'm telling this story. But and he's looking at me, and I go, "Do I know you or something?" Or is it, I was totally innocent, not confrontational. And he goes, "No, I'm just looking at your bitch."
Oh my God! Wow! Jesus Christ! Oh my! What? Whoa!
Yeah, and Susan had just come out of bed, and she heard, and she did not provoke. But she heard that.
She didn't do the Jada. She didn't.
And I go, "Are you fucking?" Bam!
Oh, you slapped him?
Slapped this
you Will
motherfucker
Smith
as hard as I could.
You Will Smith him?
His glasses went flying, and he went back over his wall. And then I come and then,
yeah. And there was a follow up, right? It was a 1-2.
Yeah, and then
you gave him a backhand.
I gave him a backhand.
Hold
too.
on, you gave him a backhand.
Oh yeah.
You gave a grown male a backhand.
Pop, and it was full wine, and the whole boy and all the guys when they stop, I go, now who's the fucking bitch?
Wow.
And so then and he doesn't say nothing, and he's composing. There's probably a lot going through his mind. I said, man, fuck you. And I walked off. And then as I turn around and walk off, he comes up and punches me in the back of the head.
Oh, that's a shit punch.
Right.
What a terrible punch.
Right.
In the back of the head?
But guess what? I'm sparring 2 or 3 times a week. So I eat that shit like a sandwich. And I turn around, and I don't know why I fucking said this. And I remember it was from like an Eddie Murphy stand-up where he said this. I don't know. I try to go, that's the way I like it. Come on, motherfucker. And
Wow.
But then everyone fucking jumped in. Everyone jumps in. And I had this guy that I work with from Minnesota, not making up the name. His name's Tony Horseman from Minnesota. And he's this big fucking built guy, right? Just like a fucking
The last name
beast.
belies the body.
And he, Tony Horseman, he walks up there. He goes, is there a problem? And he comes in. This fucking guy sees him.
I picture you like 12'2".
Right, but then they fucking throw me out or whatever. And Susan's mad. Like, why did you have to? I said, why?
It had to be done.
Fuck.
It had to be done. That's such a
And then I go home
abrasive thing to say
to
right
our
off the
apartment, and we lived in this. Violence is not the answer. I'm terribly embarrassed to tell that story. But
why would he say that, though?
Ben was in. I don't know.
Why would he say that?
Probably drinking, being an asshole. And so
hey,
I get home.
He deserved it.
And my mom was babysitting baby Richie.
Uh-huh.
And I walk in there, and Susan says something like, you want me to get you some ice for your head? Because there's a big lump there. He got whatever, but fuck him. And I go, oh, God damn it, why'd you say it in front of my mom? My mom's, of course, Mexican mom, activate. What happened? Okay, I'm going to tell you the story because I know you'll know if I'm lying. I tell the story. You fucking idiot, what's wrong with you? You've got a baby here, and that guy could have a knife or a gun, and you're 25 years old, and I mean, she dressed me down and read me the riot act, and you got a baby, and you think you could be like you were running around Northeast Atlanta, and that's why your dad's in jail.
That was it.
And that was always the closing argument.
Fuck.
From the attorney, Mama St. John.
Yeah, right.
Goes, and that's why your dad's in jail. Is that where you want to go? Oh, you know what? Maybe they can put you right in the same fucking bunk as him. You can,
dang it.
I go, no, I don't like
Way
that.
to ruin this high, right?
I go, no, I don't want to go to jail.
On,
That's no, okay, no, that's all right. I know go ahead, go to jail. Go to jail right. I go, I'm not fucking going to jail right now. I'm going to go to sleep.
At that point, she can't be reasoned with either.
No.
You can't talk to her. You can't not talk to her.
Is that what you are? You want to be that? Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's what you want to be.
Yes.
And so, no, that's not what I want to be. And so she just, it went on and on. And no more altercations for me.
Was she English or Espanol?
She was English, but she'd throw in there.
She'd throw
a little in there when she got mad. But again, terribly embarrassed by that story. Violence is not the answer. Do not fight. But you ask why I slap? I still thought I was fighting. Closed punches. Did not want to break my hand or hurt whatever else. A nice slap.
Well, that's probably. That's the intro to Con Air.
Right.
Remember, Nick Cage is just defending his wife at a bar.
There it is.
He kills someone because his hands are trained. And that would have been your hands.
So slap fight it is. But no more. That's all. That's the past. Blame Ben Messner for making me tell that fucking story, and I want to tell that. Anyway, but that came up. So anyway, have you slapped anyone? Would you like to
no,
share that at all?
no. I think
Would you like to slap
I
someone?
know a lot of people.
Could you name anyone?
A lot of people. I
Okay.
don't know.
Well,
There's
that's
too many to
fine.
name.
Good.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get into New Orleans.
Let's do that.
Okay. You lived in New Orleans. You played there. You won a ring with the
Yeah, yeah.
Saints. For the people that are heading down to New Orleans, give us a Cliff Notes version of what to do in the French Quarter, what not to do. You want to go down there. You want to celebrate and have fun with your basketball team in the Final Four, but you don't want to end up in jail. You don't want to
Don't slap anybody.
You don't want to end up with no wallet or in a lump on your head. And so
Or laying in a bathtub of ice with a note on your chest.
that doesn't sound too bad. But so what? So what would you say?
I would say avoid the quarter if you can.
Avoid the quarter.
Avoid the quarter.
Well, what if you get that? They're not going to do that. That's not happening.
Here's what you have to think of. So the quarter is designed now for tourists. So any bar you go to, there's going to be like plastic cups. It's going to be like a college bar.
Right.
So if you want a college bar, college scene, if you want 15-year-olds throwing up drunk, or if you want 80-year-olds throwing up drunk, go to the quarter.
I don't like that?
I
don't like either. Well,
that's what the quarter is.
What about a 49-year-old?
And it's like cheap drinks. It's cheap drinks. It's shitty liquor.
I will say this: go to Frank's restaurant. My dad's
That's
best
not
friend
in the quarter.
owns a restaurant.
That's at the edge of the quarter.
Yeah, this is the edge. This is not in the heart of it. If you want to go, it's 933 Decatur Street in New Orleans.
Decatur Street is the edge of the quarter.
Frank's Delicious Restaurant, Italian food, Cajun food, seafood, whatever you need. Go in there and you ask for Frank and tell him Stephen St. John sent you at Frank's Restaurant. Thank you very much.
Drink in Uptown, drink in the Garden District, drink on St. Charles Avenue, drink in Uptown. There's so many good spots on the other side of the casino. From Bourbon Street.
Give me your favorite spot to eat that you can remember. One place, like a meal that you just.
So I would say if you're going for like a lunch, honestly, Houston's is still there.
Yeah.
And Houston's kicks ass.
Okay.
That's a great restaurant. We don't have it in Kansas City anymore, so we always like going to Houston's. Po' Boys.
What's significant about Houston's in our life?
That's the first time I met you.
That's where we met.
At that Kansas City location.
At a lunch
Absolutely.
at Houston's
with
on
John
the Plaza.
Melvin. Absolutely.
With big John Melvin, known also as John Brasky around these parts.
Right.
And
or with the forearm pads, the football forearm pads.
Me, you, John Melvin, and Ryan Liljah.
Ryan was there. Yep.
Was Jake there?
I don't think Jake was there. No.
I don't know.
That was a good lunch, though. But yeah.
That was a good lunch. That's our origin
That was the
story.
connection.
That's
that
our
was
first date at Houston's.
That was right there. You were in your
right.
suit. First time I ever saw you in a suit.
Well, I tried
funeral?
to
It was a funeral,
yeah,
right?
I went right from a funeral and then had lunch with these.
Yeah, exactly.
I was feeling great.
Yeah, I know, right? For real. Yeah, you were quiet that day. Yeah.
So then Houston, but what about something that's specific to New Orleans? or something?
So New Orleans is known for po' boys. So everyone in New Orleans has their like favorite po' boy place and daiquiri bars.
Right.
And if you've never been to New Orleans, you want to get a true feel. Don't get a hurricane from whatever that bar is.
What about Tipitina's? Is that?
I don't know that.
Right.
But if you do, Parkway Bakery has the best po' boys in town.
That sounds delicious.
And it's in mid cities, so you have to. It's a little bit outside of downtown. But Parkway Bakery, get I think it's the shrimp fried shrimp po' boy.
Ooh.
Their bread, and get it with the Barks root beer.
Barks root beer. And the shrimp po' boy.
Shrimp po' boy. And get it dressed.
Mid Cities Bakery.
Or Parkway Bakery in mid cities.
Okay.
Yep. And if you want to go fancy, go to Commander's Palace. Commander's Palace is like authentic New Orleans style steakhouse. So just a nice restaurant. It's just really, really, really good food.
Any
steakhouse.
Cut of meat?
Yeah. Anything's good. They always have some great things on the menu. It's a fantastic spot. Those are my three must do. Parkway Bakery for a po' boy, Commander's Palace for like a really nice meal, and then the only touristy thing I would say to do that's worth it is Café du Monde.
And that's right by Frank's Restaurant.
Right across the street.
You get the beignets.
Yeah, the beignets and a cafe au lait and a beignet. That's it. But I get that 4:00 in the afternoon.
Why is that?
Because it's a little coffee, little sugar rush.
Oh, that'll get you going for the rest of the night.
Exactly. It's like your booster rocket onto the night.
What if now some people are going to want to go down there and drink?
Okay.
And so if you want to get your drink on and tie one on, where do you go to?
I would say just do anything downtown, not in the quarter. I mean, listen, if you go to the quarter, just know it's going to be like a college bar scene,
right?
And just be prepared. And if
those,
that's what you
those
want,
long plastic,
all that shit, all the yardsticks, all that shit. I would say, and honestly, too, day drink after you go to Parkway or something like that. Find a daiquiri bar. You don't want to stay at a daiquiri bar too long, but I can't. Like, this is the most New Orleans thing ever. A daiquiri bar. You know what a Slurpee machine looks like at a 7-Eleven, right?
Delicious.
So picture at a daiquiri bar, like they have like 10 different Slurpee machines. And they have all the different like flavors of daiquiris.
Well, why don't you want to stay there too long?
Because you'll get faded.
Well, there it is.
You drink 2 and you'll be gone.
Maybe you do.
Maybe you do, and maybe you do. Yeah. But what you can get a to go. They have drive-through daiquiri bar.
Right.
They have drive-through daiquiri bars. And it's like you can get it, and you get like a shot of 151, shot of Patron. We used to do it a lot. After practice, we go to a daiquiri bar.
After practice, you used to go to a daiquiri bar.
And just have a couple drinks, hang out, whatever. Then go out somewhere, something like that.
Did Drew Brees go with you at all?
No, he did not. He did not. This is the whole line.
Just the
degenerates. O-line, D-line, and Roman Harper, right?
Roman Harper,
safety. He's a cool ass dude, man.
Roman Harper and the lineman would
right,
go.
Exactly. He's a cool dude, man. Just a cool dude.
And just go get faded after practice.
Yeah, just get good at daiquiri. Just have a couple and go on your way.
What about you see like live shows and things?
So there's so many good places, like jazz. There's so many good spots. Royal Sonesta Hotel.
Live shows.
Live shows.
Like, hey,
go to Bourbon Street.
Erotica. No. What is wrong with me?
I like that.
He's fucking talking about jazz.
I like that.
I don't know, man,
I like that.
Right. Do you?
Better way of saying smut.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Right. But obviously music, and if you love jazz and things like that.
Royal Sonesta Hotel usually has a good show.
Where's that at?
It's in the Quarter.
Okay, so Royal Sonesta Hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you usually got some good shows going on. Ben might know some good spots too, but you can just look it up and see where's any sort of live jazz. Would be around the Quarter.
Ben Mester's going to be down there. Where should we send him? I know.
Oh, he knows. He already knows.
Family down there.
He already knows.
Take a look at him though. Where would he fit in? That kind of guy, the cut of his jib. Where would he? Is he a French Quarter guy?
He's a fucking. He's at the docks. He looks like a fucking sailor, right?
You're a sailor down the dock.
Like a sailor at the dock.
What does that mean? The longshoreman?
A longshoreman, man. Like he just.
Where does the sailor
he
go
needs
hang
the
out
beanie
at?
hat. He needs the beanie hat. Larry Flint's Hustler Club.
Does that sound right? The Larry Flint. So, wow, Ben gives the look of a sailor that should be in Larry Flint's Hustler.
Like a beat poet, like on the fucking seas, just writing poetry.
What about the balconies and the beads? So people that haven't been down here, is that okay? You like that, or is that you don't want that?
I'm not for that.
But if someone's first time, should they go there and
if you like that? If you like that,
but you don't know if you like it because you never done it. Like if you've never been, would you suggest a first time or just walk through there? Or?
Just get a quick little walkthrough.
Watch yourself.
But you'll walk through because you'll see like fucking 12-year-old kids passed out.
I don't think.
And you'll see 80-year-old kids, 80-year-old adults passed out. Like I said, it's a tourist trap,
and
that's what it's designed for. And if you want to see a shit show, go down there and see it. But like when we lived there, we went to Bourbon Street once, and that was to go to like a nice restaurant.
And that was it, though.
Well, I'm like, oh, give me this, get this. It's skeezy. You're gonna get pickpocketed. It's dirty.
There seems to be a lot of urine in the streets.
Yeah,
vomit.
feces,
That's.
It's not New Orleans.
Okay.
It's not New Orleans.
All right.
At all. Like to me, it's like I said, the areas I said. The daiquiri bar, po' boy places.
I like the sound of that Commander's Palace. That sounds like
really
something
nice
I've ever
restaurant.
done.
It's a really great restaurant.
Right.
I love there.
Okay.
We're going there for this year maybe. Going down to New Orleans for a game. Got a buddy whose kid plays at Tulane.
So where's that in relation to the Dome then? For people that are going to be down there around the game or staying around there, is it close? Or you got to get an Uber?
You got to get an Uber because it's far away. It's about it's like same downtown, but it's like a ways. So it's like 10, 15 minutes. Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you got the cash, go to Commander's Palace.
All right. Okay. So we're talking about this because you played for the Saints. Let's get back. Let's rewind here and give a little bit of your origin story. People have listened to you hopefully on the Border Patrol. Mm-hmm. And you do quite a few things. Now you're not. This is not your only podcast.
No.
Podcast. Tell people where else they can hear your work.
So I do a thing with BJ Kissel and Tucker Franklin. He created KC Sports Network.
Do you ever call him fucker Tanklin at all, just to have fun?
No, I never thought about it. But it'd be fucker Tranklin.
Yeah, fucker Tranklin. I like that.
I will now.
Doesn't that sound good? I mean, I don't know.
He's a youth. He's like 22 years old.
I like. He looks like he's a fun guy.
He is fucking awesome.
He's funny, right?
He is
and that's
very
why I would call him fucker Tranklin.
He is very funny. He's a very funny
looks like
cat.
he'd appreciate that.
So yeah, and what we do, it's sort of similar to this, where we got the lab guys who do like the actual they watch the film, break down coverages, and do all the cap numbers and shit. And we're like the B-sides.
Right.
We're like the Will Smith slap.
I can't
right?
figure out the
Or
fucking
like,
cap. I don't know what
yeah,
that means.
I don't do that. I don't mess with that.
Right.
I don't mess with that
I
because
get
it
you.
feels like it's not really a thing.
Right. I don't
It's like
know.
we're going to be mindful, but then we just paid someone
Right.
$50 a year. Where cap's still good.
Give me good players. I don't fucking care how much it costs. Just do it.
So that's what we do. So do that, and then obviously Twitter. My Twitter is like food and K-State shit and Chief stuff. I think it's
Food,
like
K-State
local
shit,
Yeah.
and Chief stuff.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
what I
so
do.
we rewind now.
Okay.
So now we know you were a Texas.
Yeah.
You're a Texas man.
Yeah, Dallas.
Okay,
Dallas. Because there's four different geographies.
Right.
There's Dallas, there's Hill Country, which is Austin, and there's Houston, and there's fucking East and West Texas. I guess there's 5
So you were born where?
in Dallas.
Okay, and you
I'm
grew
from
up,
Grapevine.
Grew up in Dallas.
In Grapevine.
Where's Grapevine? Like
A suburb of Dallas. So we're right in between Fort Worth and Dallas.
When did you start to play football?
7th grade.
Was it always football, or did you have any other
I was
sports?
soccer. I was soccer all the way. I was club soccer all the way.
Were you a big kid? Like
No, I was skinny fat and I was average sized.
So what did you play in soccer? What
I was okay. So weirdly enough, right? I started out as goalie,
Right.
and then I went to like midfield and then striker for my last couple of years, and I was just aggressive as fuck.
So did you love? So you loved soccer.
Love soccer.
So
Loved
then, when
it.
did you make the transition from football to football?
All my buddies in 7th grade started playing for the middle school team for Colleyville Middle School. So they started in 7th grade, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll play football because my buddies. And I was linebacker, D tackle, and then O lineman.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Were you really good right off the bat?
No, I was decent, but I was aggressive. I don't remember being spectacular, but I don't ever remember getting dominated either.
When did you become like you're really good at
So I'd say the separation occurred my freshman year. I got moved up to varsity for playoffs
Oh,
as a
really?
scrub, and I was holding my own. I was like, okay, it's
And
not
this
so
is
bad.
Texas football,
yeah, it's
man.
Texas. And when we were like 5A, we just got down in 4A because they built another high school. So we had some legit caliber athletes. They went 15-0 my freshman year, one state, and
And you got moved up your freshman year?
well, for varsity,
Okay.
for playoffs,
Right.
It was for play. Like they needed tackling dummies
Right.
and shit. So I was like, okay. Then my sophomore year, I got moved up week 3 to varsity, actual varsity. Guy gets hurt. Mike Eklund breaks his leg versus Kimball. And Roger Benefield, one of my favorite O-line coaches of all time, big motherfucker from West Texas, went to Baylor, play with Mike Singletary at
Okay.
Baylor in the
Wow.
80s, won the Southwest Conference Championship. And I remember Mike Eklund breaks his leg, and he looks at me and goes, "You're starting next week." And I'm like, oh my God. You know, it was like crazy. So yeah, that's I got my start sophomore year, and I was decent. Junior year, I was like 250 my sophomore year, and then junior year I was 275. So I was like 6'2", 275. So my junior year I was still raw, but I had the power and I had the confidence.
So
So that was like the junior year, sophomore to junior year, and then junior to senior year was like was 290
okay.
my senior year of high school.
When did you first realize that I could play football in college?
After my junior year, I had a lot of college coaches come through. I think it was like Tulane, SMU at first, like smaller schools, and they were coming through. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna like it's like a done deal. I'm gonna go play D1 somewhere.
And was your family on board with this? Did they?
Yeah, like they were. My mom and my stepdad, they bought me a brand new truck, because I was gonna get a scholarship.
Yeah.
Like, you know, right? You
What
like,
kind of
hey,
truck did you have driving around?
2000 3-door Chevy Silverado.
So you were.
It was sweet.
You were the man.
It was
right?
slick. It was
You were
it was a
doing
2-wheel
all right.
drive, but it was a V8 5.3 liter.
Okay, so you're back. We always kid each other because we're both of Mexican heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So explain that. What's your
So my mom is full on Mexican.
okay? Like my mom was
Full on
okay.
Mexican. So I grew up like my mom and dad were divorced. My dad was Canadian. Funny story, my dad was Canadian, right? And he actually became an American citizen to go fight in Vietnam.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he made it. He was Green Beret, and he was special forces, and he was Green Beret. So his specialty was weapons and demolition.
Wow.
So he was different. I mean, I could imagine anybody who's seen kind of shit like they saw in Vietnam, that he was like, my dad, like I would see my dad in the summer times and then not again. He'd be gone working on ships. He was working merchant marine,
Oh, fuck. I mean,
working on cargo ships.
first time. I mean, some of the stories my dad told on the podcast about being in Vietnam. Was the first time I've heard those.
Yeah,
stories.
right.
He just
Didn't
never
say shit.
Whenever I would try, he just never wanted to talk about it. He was not interested in talk. And then I find out, well, why? Because some of the stuff he saw. So you can understand that, right?
Yeah, for real. It was brutal. So he was not built for the normal world. So I gave him a pass, right? He was recovering. He was substance abuse. He would use cocaine. He quit it and he was back on it towards the end of his life. He died in 2000, my freshman year.
And where did he live?
So he never had a house. This is crazy.
Right.
He always stayed at my grandma's house, stayed at my aunt's house in Canada.
He was on the move.
Or always on the move.
Right.
Worked on a ship fucking 6 months.
But was he always in Canada, or was he?
He was on a ship.
Okay.
During the school year, he was on a ship. Right. And as we were growing up, we go up to Canada. His custody would be the whole summer. So he wouldn't have a job. We'd be off. And we'd see him 24/7. He'd go bike riding. I loved it, man. We'd stay with my grandma, my dad. We'd go bike riding. We'd go swim at the pools. We'd go to the bakery. We'd go to the meat shop in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Oh, shit.
So the Midwest. It was fun. Saskatoon was fun.
When's the last time you've been in Canada?
Been a while. I'd say 2003 I was in Whistler.
Okay.
2004 I was in Whistler. That was the last time.
And so that was so. But do you maintain a relationship with any relatives in Canada?
No, my cousin a little bit in Kamloops in British Columbia, but not really. Because it's just, to me, it's like I got other shit going on.
You went up there and you would spend the summers.
Yeah,
up
whole
there?
summer. So I'd have friends up there, and it'd be like they had no clue. This is the 80s and 90s, right? So they had no clue what Texas was like. They thought we lived on a ranch and rode horses, and my friends in Texas thought my grandma lived in a fucking igloo. So
Did you ever
it's like these extremes.
Did you ever play it up when you were in Canada?
A little bit.
I got a horse.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little
cowboy
bit.
Walk a little bit of a gait.
Spurs and chaps.
Yeah,
exactly.
So when did you stop spending your summers in Canada?
My sister, I gained a lot of respect for my sister. Last year we were there. My sister got into a chick fight.
Ooh, let's hear about
my
this.
sister got into probably one of the best chick fights I've ever seen.
Younger or
in my
older than you?
She's older.
So
2 years
how old
older.
are you at this point?
I'm 10.
And how old is she?
She's 12.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
Let's hear this.
7th grade. So my sister was like maybe dating some dude and was like an ex of another girl. And this girl, Ernestine, who ended up being found dead in an alley, stabbed to death. Right. She was rough.
Wow.
And she was our friends, the twins. And so she was dating one of Ernestine's friends, Rochelle, boyfriend.
Okay.
So we would go up and play at the gymnasium at the school across the street. And we had like a YMCA program. And after that, we were heading home at night, and she confronted her. It was like group, and this girl Rochelle confronted my sister, like, "Hey, I heard you're dating my sister, bitch, or dating my boyfriend." Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I thought my sister about to get her ass whooped.
And they're 12.
Yeah, they're 12.
Okay.
He's just grimy, dude.
Holy shit.
And then all of a sudden, they just got into it, and it was like cat fight. It was like pulling hair. Like I saw Rochelle's neck get yanked like that with the ponytail and their whatever.
And was it one-on-one?
No one jumped in.
All right, good.
Thank God, because I wouldn't have been much help at all. But she held her own. And she really like beat her down. Like they stopped it and was like, "All right, you good?" And
but are you like, "Oh shit!" When this
and I was
happened?
like, "Oh my God!"
Had you seen her fight before?
No.
Okay, so this is.
Well, she beat me up,
Right?
But
well,
I didn't think that was shit,
Right.
But yeah, but she did that. I'm like, "Oh my God!" So that was like, so my mom found out about that,
and that was it.
She's like, "You ain't going up there again."
Did she get hurt at all? Was she marked up, or she just
a little marked up?
She found out about it, and then that was it.
That was it.
So what was?
So that was like 7th grade. Plus, we were getting old, and I was in the 6th grade. And so it was like we were old enough to be like, okay, we got shit to do in the summertime, right?
Okay.
We got there's sports events happening and stuff like that. You're missing.
Harder to get away from. Your
hard to get
friends
away.
and
Exactly. So that's when it ended.
And then your father passed away in
2000.
In 2000.
So freshman year of college.
Okay.
Boxing Day.
But that was the last time you'd gone up there to Canada.
Well, I guess that would be the last time. Yeah, was for his funeral.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And so then going back here. So then you're done going to your summers in Canada.
Yeah.
You ended up going to high school. That's when you really start to develop as a football player.
Yeah.
Then you get your truck bought by your stepdad and your mother. And so then senior year, is this like big man on campus? You're getting recruited all the time.
Yes.
You're driving around in your fucking truck, and whatever you want, you get. You're Nick Leckie.
Absolutely.
I'm a D1 recruit in Texas.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Did you play it up?
No, I would never.
Did you date? Did you have a young lady? Did you
No,
date the head cheerleader?
I was awkward. I was always an awkward human being, but just a big awkward human being.
Yeah.
If I didn't have football, I'd probably be a dork. What's known as a dork.
How big were you? Like as a senior,
6'3", 290.
Oh shit! But you say you were awkward.
I was awkward. Well, I was into my own shit.
Like
you know.
what?
Like I like video games, the internet, music, pornography.
I think you just described every senior in high school
Right,
in the
exactly.
fucking world.
No, I never really, I had a girl I dated.
Wait, I like how he paused. I go, what else? He goes, pornography.
Remember the early days of the internet when all you could get was a thumbnail?
Right.
Right? You're
Well,
like
but
waiting like
that's
10 minutes for a thumbnail to come through.
My porn's downloading. I'll be back in half an hour.
Not even a video, just a picture. I remember the early days of the internet, man. It was just that.
Print,
Yeah.
print, print. Get that, load that computer paper.
No, because you could arrange them on one page.
Yeah, that's right. Look at all this I've got here.
Look at all these NFTs I printed out on
What
one
a
page.
Tremendous.
Oh my god!
So, so then you're awkward, but you're so when do you start getting you're getting recruited?
Yeah,
now, right?
no, I'm getting heavily recruited. So to me, it was like Texas, Miami, Wisconsin.
Oh, the big shit.
All the
Here
big
they
shit,
come.
bro. It was bro. I was here. Let me find on my Instagram page.
Anyone offer you money?
No, you had to ask for money. And I never asked for money. I never wanted to get in trouble because I'm like, my parents got enough money. I'm taken care of, you know.
But nothing improper?
I never got Johnny
Nothing.
Dangerously. Or not Johnny Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
That's the greatest recruiting.
But nothing, there's
not a
nothing
cent, bro.
even suggested?
I would get free meals after big wins. I would get like comps paid for by like other people's dads or bar tabs picked up. I'm going to run up a hot tab and maybe be like $80.
Was it like an alum of a school?
Yeah,
like, you know,
or like someone's dad. You know, they would
this is
take
from the
care of it.
University of Texas, son.
Right,
Or something
exactly.
Like
No, not during recruiting. No, I never got shit. But I never asked for it either. My mom just found all my stuff, so I had a bunch of handwrittens and stuff like that.
Who are the big names that were recruiting you that we might
Mac
know?
Brown at Texas.
He was. How was he? Was he a slick recruiter?
Awesome! Oh my God, he's like your grandfather. Like he was like, It was like this. He was at my coach's office, and Tim Nunez, and he was the O coordinator. Were there, and they came down to visit me, and I'm like, I want to come to Texas. What's up? It's like October of my senior year.
Dallas kid. It's
Yeah,
Texas.
around
Let's
like,
go.
fuck, man. I'm like, hook 'em, all that shit. And they were like, well, Nick, we're kind of waiting on Anthony Munoz's kid.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
And Lionel Garr. So we get knocked out of playoffs. My first game, we get upset.
Right.
I had recruiting trips to Texas, Missouri, Duke, LSU,
don't tell me that.
LSU planned there, and I had one open, and then so we get knocked out, you know, and then K-State comes in on Monday, and I remember seeing the K-State guy, Greg Peterson, and you know I'm a Texas kid, I'm getting recruited by Texas, I'm like, fuck that, I'm not going to fucking.
They weren't even on the radar. Like,
No,
fuck this shit.
Hell no. But what they just happened, they had just beat Texas 42-7 in Austin.
Ooh. Oh. What year was this?
99.
Okay. All right then. So that turns your head, right?
So I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, what are they doing? You know? And then Greg Peterson was like, hey, you know, you have one extra recruiting trip. Why don't you come up this weekend? I go, okay. So I came up to K-State, and fuck, I loved it.
So, okay, so you get there. You fly up there.
I didn't drink on my recruiting trip, by the way. I did not get drunk on my recruiting trip. I didn't drink one drop.
No,
Isn't that disappointing?
No, I mean, you know, yeah. You were like, you had to.
I was prefacing it. Yeah.
So you just go up, you fly up there.
I go
right?
up there. Yep.
You go with anyone or
Yeah.
just you,
No,
or
just me.
any other
My
recruit?
mom, stepdad.
Okay, so they're there.
Yeah.
You fly up there. And how from the time he said, "Why don't you come up for your last?" How much time?
That was
in between
Monday, and I came up there Friday.
So right, just bam like that.
Bam.
It went from what's K-State to hey, come up here. And
Yeah.
then you're there Friday. Okay, so you go up there, and then what's your first impression? You get off the plane.
So they
Where
fly
at?
us in at night,
Okay,
right?
where
so
at?
Kansas City, and then take the
Okay,
plane to
so you
Manhattan.
fly into Kansas City,
and then take the plane to Manhattan, right? So like 30-minute plane, flying at night, so whatever. And then I'm like, this is a cool campus. And then I'm like, you know, they had just done a thing in '98 where A&M beat them. They went undefeated, right? Nationally
Michael
ranked.
Bishop,
Mike
yeah.
B. Mike Bishop was the reason I knew about K-State.
right?
He's the only reason I knew about K-State.
He was one
and he
of
was
the
a
best
Texas
players.
kid.
Yeah, of course.
Blinn JUCO.
One of the best players in the nation.
Yep, exactly.
And so you get there.
I get there and like I'm like, man, like they take me around campus. We go out to the bars. My first experience was, I don't know, I mean to snitch him out, but I guess it's fine now.
do.
Joe Hall. Love Joe Hall. Big ass running back.
Yeah.
He's a coach down there. He does something down there now with K-State.
Okay.
I remember he's drunk at a bar, and I tell all my buddies this. He was wearing his big ass leather coat, right? And we were leaving the bar, and he was like, "Hey Joe, talk to this new recruit." He's like, "Man, you can go to K-State, you score TDs, and you get these." And he did this thing, and he had like gold chain. I'm like,
Wait a
yes,
minute.
let's go. I'm here.
He's got a leather jacket.
Big ass leather coat.
You go to K-State. You score TDs.
Big ass motherfucker
and
too.
You get these.
Yeah.
And you
gold
like
chains.
that, didn't you?
I was like, man, I'm here.
Did
like
you want those? You want some gold
I didn't want gold chains.
But you weren't scoring any touchdowns.
I was scoring nothing.
But that recruiting pitch sold you.
I don't know. It was a part of the process where I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Does Joe Hall know that you were
no clue.
influenced?
No clue. No clue. I've never told Joe. I've never told Joe that story ever. But I love Joe.
So you see that happens.
Yeah. And Joe. And by the way, Joe is like 6'1", 280. Joe's bigger than me.
He's big ass.
He's bigger than me.
Right.
We're the same weight, all that, but he looks like just massive.
So you're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
And so this was Friday.
It's Friday.
And then you go around the campus.
You got all that shit. And then it's funny because Sunday, like, you know, I'm like, this is cool. My two hosts were Andy Eby and John Robertson. Okay. They're from Olathe East, so they're local boys. And they were just selling me on. They're like, hey, come drink at our house. We'll hang out. You know, be fun. It was just cool.
What other coaches got involved here?
Well, the coaches were there at like the breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and they, you know, you watch some film with them.
Like
and stuff
who?
like
Like who? Like
Paul Dunn was my O-line coach,
right?
And he was a guy from Pittsburgh. He was like best man in Dan Marino's wedding.
Who else was there on the staff that you know?
That you would know.
There were some big names that were there.
Well, it wasn't until Phil Bennett.
Okay, I remember Phil
D
Bennett
coordinator.
Okay,
and then Venables was gone. Yeah, Gush. Yeah, so. Yeah, Phil Bennett.
When does Bill Snyder enter this picture?
So he's been there.
Visit?
I talked to him Sunday, right? Have a meeting in his office. And I left Sunday without an offer.
So tell me about the visit in the office, though. You're by yourself?
By myself with him. I was a little bit frightened because, you know, he's a very intimidating
Describe
person.
that. So he's sitting at the desk?
It's like this. He's like in his desk. He's in his suit with no shoes on. Right, he always takes in the facility. He always was not barefoot, but walking around in
socks on. Okay,
some socks.
He's got
and his suit,
a full suit, in his socks, and you walk in there.
And he's like, "Hello, Nick, how are you?" And
were you taken aback by no shoes, or you like?
Yeah, I was tripped out.
Okay,
I was like, he fucking like God, like he's right off the get go. Like I see some like loafers, and I'm like, is he not? I wanted to like,
you want to look under.
Are you wearing? What are you wearing under there?
So
it's like on a Zoom call, right? Up top, he's business, base down below.
So he's sitting there, and then
he's sitting there, and we just talking, and I remember this guy just talking to me, and I'm like, "It's a really cool place," but I didn't close him. I didn't know I was supposed to close him or ask for the whatever.
Oh,
so I just left. So I guess he thought I didn't like it.
You were waiting for him to extend the offer, and he was waiting for you to say, "I love it."
I got offers. Like I got offers.
Who do you have offers from?
A lot of people.
Because Texas was slow playing you.
Texas was slow playing me. Had an offer. Well, then I committed. Then the offer started flowing in because that was December.
What the fuck happened to Missouri? You said you were going to go there.
You know who? I did a podcast with BJ and we interviewed. Who's the special teams coach?
Dave Tobe.
Dave Tobe.
Dave Tobe was your guy?
Dave Tobe was my fucking recruiter.
Did you visit Mizzou?
No, I had it set up though.
Fuck.
But Dave Tobe used to come to my high school and he brought this up. He goes, I used to recruit your ass in high school.
And what happened?
He was a big, scary motherfucker.
You were intimidated by Dave Tobe.
I kind of was.
Did you tell him that when you...
I did later when I did the podcast a year or two ago. Yeah.
So what year was it? So
99.
Dave Tobe was there and you fucking...
Yeah, but Missouri sucked at the time.
You have to say that.
And I didn't...
Unnecessary.
Sorry. I was like, I kind of want to go to win.
Before Pinkle got there, though.
Yeah.
Maybe if Pinkle's there,
right
then he's gonna get you.
Pinkle was there.
But he was? So then no.
They were on the...
Okay. So nothing, no. So then you leave Kansas State.
And Sunday night, I get home. Well, first of all, fuck, dude, I almost died. So we go to Rusty's Last Chance, have a burger, and they put me on a plane to go from Manhattan to KC. And we get in the plane, and it's like it's me and Ken Green, and we're like sitting like facing each other,
right?
And there's the people, the pilot and co-pilot are up there.
Oh, fuck these small planes!
Fucking small planes. I'm like, I've seen La Bamba too many fucking times.
See, when I say that, people think I'm fucking around. I'm Mexican. I was raised on La Bamba.
No.
I've seen that. I'm not getting on that fucking plane.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
I'm not. Hey,
I've turned down. Listen, you make fun of me. I've turned down 3 different trips on a fucking Learjet to go watch the Chiefs play because I'm not getting on a fucking plane the size of a car.
I got buddies who like to take a jet from here to K-State to go watch basketball on a Tuesday night. I'm like, no, I'll drive. I'll meet you. I'll drive. I ain't like, no, it's not. No, I'm not doing that shit.
I get the all. I've seen La Bamba. What if you're on an island? Stranded on an island, and then a little plane comes to get you. I said, well, then I'm living on the fucking island.
Man,
then I'm going to make all kinds of shit with coconuts like Gilligan did.
I'm putting my hand on a volleyball, my bloody hand, and I'm talking, that's exactly my new friend.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so you think, what happened on that plane?
So I have to step on the wing to get in the plane, right? And I'm trying to connect the seatbelts, right? It's a small plane, and I'm sitting there, Ken Green. Ken Green's a big-ass defensive end. And so we get on, and I'm trying to buckle it, right? I grew up flying. My mom was a flight attendant. I've been on airplanes forever. And he goes, don't worry about if we crash, it ain't going to save you anyways. And I'm like, fuck, I've never thought about that.
That's not something you want to hear, right?
I never thought about that, though, until you say it protects you if you drop.
Yeah.
Right? But that's it. I'm like, it's a good point. So I'm like, fuck, you just blew my mind. Right. So we take off, and it sounds a little like louder in the cabin than it's used to. Like, if you have the car door and it's not all the way shut, or if the window's rolled up, but it's not all the way, it's extra noise. So we're climbing, we're like 10, 15,000 feet, and we're climbing, and all of a sudden that fucking door pops open.
Fuck that.
Fucking door pops open. We bank. Papers are going everywhere. We're banking. I'm like, oh, fuck.
And you're flying where? Is this Manhattan, back to Kansas City? Fuck this.
Bro, it's banking. I'm like, fuck. And I remember looking at Ken Green in the eyes. He's like, big-ass eyes. I go, bro, nothing we can do now.
Right.
So we fucking, like, he's trying to shut the door. He can't. It's still going like crazy. We're fucking bound. I'm like, this is it. And all of a sudden he gets it right, and he just holds the door. We land.
This guy's like, holding the fucking door,
holding the fucking
plane.
door with his fucking thing like this. And so we land, and I'm like, good God. And then get me on a fucking bus to go back to KC. Shuts the door, take off. Every little bump, dude. I was like, fuck.
But did that make you not want to go to KC, or like what? Did it affect you?
It's indifferent. It kind of just fucked me up. So and then I get a call from Greg Peterson that night, Sunday night. And he's like, hey, Nick, sorry you left without an offer. Maybe they weren't even going to offer me. Maybe they're waiting on someone else too. Right? I didn't even think about that. Tell him right now. But they're like, hey, you want to commit? I'm like, yeah. And at that point, I was sick of getting phone calls. I was sick of coaches coming to visit me at high school.
You don't want to do it anymore.
I'm over this shit. I loved it. I had a great feel for K-State. Loved the people. I always tell people this. The thing I love about K-State is I could have went to Texas and been another brick in the wall and a long story tradition. Or I could go to K-State and be on the ground floor of Google, where I can help build that tradition that had nothing. And so to me, I was like, fuck, I want to go with the team that's winning and the team that's Nike sponsored. And at the time, Texas was sponsored by Reebok. And I'm like, I'm like the program, right? I'm not wearing Adidas or whatever, you know?
And so
Nike.
So you committed?
I committed to K-State. And then after I committed, then that's when the floodgates really opened.
And then did your mom and stepdad say, that's great? Or like, hey, hold on.
No, they were like, cool, we love it.
Okay,
awesome.
They were good with it, okay.
Yeah, they're like, these coaches will stop visiting us and calling us.
Did anyone try to convince you not to?
So Nick Saban had just got hired at LSU.
Oh.
Nick Saban calls me in January and was like, hey, this is Nick Saban at LSU. I want you to come down and visit us. Set up a visit. I'm like, hey, coach, I committed to K-State. He's like, those verbal agreements are non-binding, right? I was like, okay.
Did you go visit?
No, I didn't go visit. But yeah, I could have had Texas and LSU.
What else did you visit?
That's it, man.
You only visit?
I shut it down after that.
But before then, what did you visit?
That was my first one. I had them scheduled in January.
That was the only fucking visit.
I know. I'm kind of disappointed. I would like to go and visit Texas because they would have rolled.
Could you retroactively take a visit? Could you call Texas?
I could,
hey,
right?
Can I go?
I would like to
take a look at.
I really would like to with NIL too.
If you could have gone, if you could go back in time and just have one visit, what school would you visit retroactively? Not commit.
I would
just
say
go out
Texas or LSU.
I feel like LSU might have been good.
Right? I don't. Yeah, LSU might have been. I think it would have been LSU.
And I'm not talking about anything with Kansas City. No one ever said, "Hey, here's a bag of fucking money."
Nobody said that, dude. Nobody. I never. I'm telling you, all you had to do, if I'd asked my recruiter, like, hey, what's like, I'm gonna need some money for my family, and I would have got it, but I didn't need it. So I'm like, well, let them save that for someone else.
And so you loved it, and you never turned back. You became an All-American.
Yeah.
If I ask you, what's your best memory of your time at Kansas State? What is it?
Best memory?
Or just favorite thing, best accomplishment, whatever, anything that you take away. When you think about, there's a lot of great times there, obviously.
That Manhattan is beautiful.
Right.
Manhattan, Kansas is hill country. It's pretty. It's very pretty. I just love the people there. But my favorite memory was...
The best game. Like if you say, hey, I want you to see one game from my time at Kansas State, what would it be?
I'd say the Texas game that we lost my senior year. It was a fun one for me personally,
Right.
but we didn't whatever.
She lost.
But then Oklahoma, we beat Oklahoma 35-7.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one too. I like
At
that
Arrowhead?
one. And 03.
What was that like?
It's fucking awesome. We knew we were gonna win before the game too. If I had to put money on it, I could have put money.
No one, very few other
That was
people knew
correct.
that.
Nobody knew that,
How did
yeah.
you know you're going to win?
Just a feel. Just the whole week leading up to it is just like they were like touting them as like the greatest college team
That
ever.
was the question. Is this the greatest college football team ever?
Ever. And we're like, fuck that. They still got to play us. And we were hot at the time.
But you heard all that shit.
Oh my God, we were fired up. We were fired up.
About Sproles.
And we had a game plan. Like Monday we came in, the game plan was like, hey, listen, here's what North Texas did to these people. And we're like, North Texas won nothing at the time. And they ran on Oklahoma.
Was Darren Sproles the best player you played with?
Him or T. Newman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you talk about how you heard all this shit.
Yeah.
What was the Bill Snyder like that week, or that? Was there any fiery speech? Was there any bulletin board material?
You
Nothing.
didn't have to. It was like, oh yeah, they had bulletin board material where the D coordinator was leaving. I think Venables, maybe, or one of the students. I forget. Someone Stoops. I don't know who the D coordinator was, but they said, I'm leaving. But guess what? We're not going to let him get past the 50.
Did Bill Snyder ever did he ever cuss?
No, he would call you a nitwit. It wasn't ever like he never like motherfucked you or anything like that. But he'd say you nitwit or.
But that
or
hurt
just,
though. If you called you nitwit, you didn't like that.
It hurt. It
was
hurt.
like your grandfather, disappointed in you. You don't want that.
You don't want that at all. But I tell you what, if I'd have went anywhere else, I don't think I would have made it. Right? If I would have texted LSU, I don't think I would have made it because I would have been complacent, or maybe I would have. Who knows? But I know Bill Snyder maximized talent through hard work and the work that you put in. I mean, you never underachieved with Bill Snyder. Like you overachieve.
You love him, don't you?
I do. I really do. I see him at games now and go hug him and say what's up to him up in his suite.
What's he say to you now? Does he come over and just
No, I always introduce myself and never know if he's just like 1,000 people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he does know it's me.
Do you ever have his shoes off, or is he wearing shoes now when you see him?
I think last time I saw him in his suite, he had his shoes off.
Okay, well.
But that's the Snyder signature, man. He had like these different colored suits. He had like 2 suits, and he'd wear them. And
when it was hot too, he didn't care, right?
Bro, he didn't give a fuck. He'd always like the inside scoot to Bill Snyder. He had this tape recorder, and it was in like 2000s, right? And he'd be like talking into it like this. That's the key treasure. That's the
just taking notes,
taking digital notes, writing down shit with his purple felt tip pen. Just taking notes, man. That would be the archive. I like to see the Bill Snyder tapes. Nick Leckie's a fucking idiot.
He's a nitwit.
He's such a nitwit.
Didn't you tell him like one time was a hot ass practice and he wore like some hot shit and you go, man, that man's tough.
Dude, listen, it was like my senior year, 03. It was like supposed to be 150, right? It's August, right? And it's like 12 days into camp. We're beat down. We're beat up. And the guys, I was like, captain. So the guys were like, "Hey man, can we get a break?" He's like, "Go talk to the old man." We used to call him the old man. We called him Omar.
Yeah.
Old Man River. Right? We called him Omar. And they're like, "Hey Nick, can you go talk to Omar?" I'm like, "All right, I will." So I went to talk to him like, "Hey coach, can you give us a break? You know, like it's hot. We want to whatever." And he was like, "All right, I'll take that in consideration." So it's a hot day, right? I told him like, "Yeah, talk to Omar, but I don't know what's gonna happen, And so it's a hot day, and what we do, K-State had you come down a hill from the locker room into the stadium, and it was we'd be waiting. So practice was at 4:15. We're there at like 4:10, 4:11, and we're sitting there waiting like in a big huddle, and we're in the end zone, the north end zone, and he would come out and walk down the ramp and go left or point right, and that would tell us which way to do our warm up lap, right? Because people would try to cheat it,
Yeah.
So it was a hot fucking day. We're like, I talked to him. We were going to get off. This motherfucker comes out in a fucking stadium parka. I was like, are you fucking kidding
Almost
me?
to show you like, you think it's fucking hot?
Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, I don't think we're getting canceled practice today.
It backfired. It did. Okay.
But then he told us, he goes, it's a state of mind.
Right. Then he was making a point.
I'm
not fucking hot.
A really good point. He never used theatrics like that, but he pulled that shit out, and I'm like,
But no one else complained about it. You can't. You got a fucking parka.
I'm like, yeah, what the fuck?
So whenever we do these origin stories, we run out of time, and then I must ask if you're willing to come back for episode 2.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to the Playboy All-American party. we didn't get to New Orleans. We didn't get to the Rams, the Cardinals, and then update to what you are now, family man Nick Leckie. Can I ask you to come back next week?
I'd love to. That'd be fun.
And we'll
I'm traveling next week, so the week after. Yeah, in a week.
Yeah, the next time we do it, you will have an episode 2 to
So
finish the story.
That was college.
Right, the college years, the college and the Canadian years, and we didn't get into the new Elvis trailer. We'll talk about that coming up. So we got all these things. I learned some things about you I didn't know. This is tremendous.
I like that.
Very exciting. You made me tell a story that I was very embarrassed
That's
about.
what I like to extract
now
that.
I know. I just want you to know I'm going to get fucking yelled at by my wife.
Is Susan gonna yell at you?
Why did you tell that? And then I'm going to get fucking made fun of by both of my sons. And then hopefully my daughter. Yeah, all of it. I'm going to take so much shit. There'll be people, I'm sorry. It was a bad decision. But you know what? We make mistakes so we can learn from. I make mistakes so my kids don't make those mistakes. They see what an asshole their father was and they don't want to be that way.
Learn from Papa.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Nick, thank you so much for the time. You'll come back for part 2.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
That's Mr. Nick Leckie. He is not a nitwit. I can promise you that. And until next time, my friends, the microphone is off.